What's up, my ninjas? There you go. How you doing? This is Ninja on Ninja. We'll start over. We'll start over. I'm doing a video response. I wanted to look into this. We'll go down real fast. So it's as you can see. Can you see? Oh, you can't see it. Oh shit! It's cut off. Hmm. I'm trying to think. Okay, you can kind of see. You see it's. You see the Ragusa. Just know it's Adam Ragusa. Adam and then Ragusa. A point about the Cybertruck. Seriously. Okay. Now, for the record, I watched a video. I liked what he was saying. I decided to check out another video. And upon watching this, my theory was confirmed. He is on the right track, but he's not as smart as me. And so he went over a few things, and I just basically want to correct him. So
This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
good for you.
Yeah, I realize it's random, but I wrote you a little something here about the Tesla Cybertruck. There's a whole bunch of unsold ones at the dealership there behind me. Anyway, just bear with me for a sec. There is a story told in Walter Isaacson's biography of Elon Musk from a couple of years ago that goes like this. Elon says that he was hanging out with his son Saxon.
And I pause so you can read. As an Anglo-Saxon, kind of racist.
He was hanging out with his son
I didn't put them together, but that makes sense.
Saxon, and thus spoke Saxon. Why doesn't the future look like the future?
Now, I know why, but I was curious to see if he knew why. So I continued on.
No idea if that story is true, by the way, but why doesn't the future look like the future is a thing that a lot of people do ask in different ways, and it's
And that's fine, they can ask that, but the question is, what do you have to say about it?
easy to understand why. Broadly speaking, the science fiction of the 20th century predicted that our time would look very different than it actually does now.
It would, but there's a reason why it doesn't. And the question is, do you know? You're stalling. Continue.
By our time, they predicted that we would have houses that look like flying saucers, or hovering cars, or post-apocalyptic wastelands.
Okay.
Not yet.
For you, around the world, it does exist. But for you right now, that's fine. But around the world, the post-apocalyptic does exist.
I don't think. I am in a parking lot.
You're trying to be funny, but no.
So the question is, why doesn't their future, our present, why doesn't it look more like what they predicted?
Right.
Why does the early mid-21st century look the way that it actually turned out to look?
Right.
Elon says that this question, as asked by his son, inspired the design of the Cybertruck. Something that looks like what someone in the 1980s would have predicted.
Okay.
Something that beloved dystopian sci-fi hero John Blade Runner would have driven.
Okay. It's an armored personal carrier from the future what Blade Runner would have driven. Okay.
The idea behind this design has always made me laugh because I think that Elon Musk means for this truck to look futuristic. But to me, and perhaps to you, it actually looks kind of old-fashioned. It looks like something from the 80s. Because it kinda is. It's an imitation of designs from 40 years ago. It looks like the armored vehicle from Aliens, 1986.
Okay.
The fact that that design was intended by James Cameron to look futuristic is irrelevant. It's still a design from the 80s. So it naturally looks old-fashioned to people like you and me. And so does its present-day imitator.
No, that's compared to what we see, not what is. That's the difference. That truck stands out like a sore thumb, basically. Just like that truck that you have on your display. If that was driving down the street, it would stand out like a sore thumb. Because compared to today, it stands out. But compared to the theory that we have created, no, it's pretty normalized. Right, correct, right, continue.
The Cybertruck.
Right.
The reason that I'm talking about this now, by the way, is just that my son, who does not have an implicitly racist name, my son and I were talking through our feelings on the Cybertruck the other day. He thinks that they look kind of cool, but he's troubled by Elon's whole, if you crash into another car, you're gonna win shtick. My son sincerely does not wish to hurt other people. Imagine that.
Okay, so we're starting to break down into liberal bullshit. I understand the reference because once upon a time I used to drive a car that we used to call the tank, basically. And the thing is, that thing drove like a boat. And if I hit another car, that other car would blow the fuck up. My car would be basically fine. Basically. The thing the thing was I had to drive it like a boat. I had to drive it like a bus. So if a stop came up, I had to stop early. I had to slow down way preemptively. This is where I think I'm so good at reflexes because I drove that thing for so long. Alright. Anyways.
That.
So the point was, I understand where he's coming from. If you wreck, you win. I understand that kind of point, right? And I understand your point because I'm all knowing. I'm the shit. I understand where you're coming from, but that's a liberal left bullshit. Where it's like, I don't want to hurt nobody. That's not the fucking point, kid. But because you're a liberal left brain rot idiot, you took it to that level. Stop deciding what I mean. You don't decide my context, basically. I said it. I chose it. Follow my context, not yours. Your kid sounds like he has ego problems, by the way. I would fix it if I were you.
Anyway, Elon Musk, due to his Peter Pan syndrome, or perhaps just due to his relatively advanced age at this point, Musk doesn't seem to realize that an 80s design in our time.
If you don't know, this is why Jeffrey Epstein sleeps with little girls. It's because you tend to stay young in your mind when you're winning. So he connects back to when he was a little boy. That's futuristic for him when he was a little boy. But again, compared to where your mind is based off of the movies you watch and the stories you watch and the games you play, your mind sees that as a normal character. But to a little boy, that's futuristic. And this is why people like you should not lead, and why I'm watching this video for the first time, and why I would have you work for me, but I would never follow you, right? I may take like, hey, you recommend. I might try recommendations, but never would I let you steer the boat, so to speak, right? Because I'm learning for the first time this recording to this video. You don't have it. You are still driven by your ego. You haven't risen above. You haven't achieved the ability to look down and see. You're still part of that bullshit.
Looks the way a 50s design would have looked to someone in the 80s.
Right. Because it's called perspective. That's his perspective. right? That's where the whole time thing comes from. From a viewer, it slows. It looks like it slows down, but when you're actually on the ship, it doesn't slow down, and that's where the perception of time dilation comes from. Is because they presume that what they see actually happens, and they take that as a certain fact, but they can't back it up.
Something like Tom Corbett's Space Cadet. That looks like something from the 1950s because it is, even though it believes itself to be futuristic. Believing it does not make it so.
No, again, um, back then that was futuristic, but your sense of reality is fucked up and you can't place yourself because your plane is screwed up. You live in the now and the 30s and the 50s and the 20s and the 10s. And you have all of that as your now, so your mind is completely hogwash, basically. That's why presumably that's why your son has an ego problem. It's because you don't have an ego and you haven't conquered it like I have. I have an ego, but I've conquered it. I'm above my ego. I look down upon my own ego.
It's still clearly from the 50s, just as the Cybertruck is clearly a 21st century retro throwback to a product of 20th century imagination. Or at least that's what the Cybertruck obviously looks like to me. Let me know if you agree.
Nope.
I suspect at least some of you do. But I don't think that Elon Musk sees the Cybertruck as a retro throwback. I think this 80s inspired design actually does look futuristic to him. And here is a darker potential explanation for that. I suspect that Elon and people like him, they see the 20th century sci-fi vision for our time to be a kind of unfulfilled potential. They see it as where we rightly should be by now, if not for all of the ways we've failed.
That, by the way, that's why we don't have flying cars. Because of all the failure that we've had. That's why our future looks so fucked up and screwed up, and why you are from the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. Why your ego is lost. Why you have no chin. Why you have no ego. Because your generation is lost, basically. This is why I'm an alpha. This is why I'm alone. Because I held on when everyone else let go.
Or if not for those people holding us back.
Right.
When Elon Musk hears his son ask, why doesn't the future look like the future? His answer is predicated on the assumption that the present, our time, would not look futuristic to someone from the 80s or the 50s. And I think that it actually would. Yeah, a lot of our world would still look pretty familiar to a person time traveling from the 80s. Our cars don't hover yet. But they do look pretty different from the 80s cars.
Not
80s
really.
cars were mostly still all straight lines and steel. Now, even a basic-ass car is plastic composite and aerodynamically curvy. I think a 2026...
It's still got four wheels. It still has four doors. It may be curvy, but that's it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? It still has air conditioning. It still has the same ass, but like, it hasn't got... Your phone has evolved more than your car has.
Toyota Corolla really would look futuristic to a frozen...
Flip phones, dial phones, push buttons and shit. Now we have touch screens and like, come on, dude.
An unthawed 80s man, or certainly a 50s man. And holy crap, tricorders from Star Trek are real now. A smartphone can literally do almost everything that Star Trek envisioned for the personal communication devices of the 23rd century. We're actually 200 years ahead of schedule on this one. You ever been to Tokyo at night? Tokyo at night straight up looks like the vision of future Los Angeles that we see in Blade Runner. I think a person who walked out of that movie in 1982 and stepped into today's Tokyo at night would probably still think that they were still in the movie. I think a person from the 80s would be pretty amazed to hear that almost nobody has to die of HIV anymore. HIV is virtually curable in some people. It can be managed as a chronic condition in most others. HIV is virtually curable in some people. It can be managed as a chronic condition in most others. There are prophylactics now that you can take to keep you from getting infected in the first place. In the 80s and 90s, HIV was a death sentence. They drilled that into our heads when we were young, and it's under control. What I'm arguing is that the future does look like the future. It just doesn't look quite like the future we expected, because how could we know?
That's the point. The future is what we make it, but we perceived it to be a certain way. That perception didn't show up. Instead, we ended with another perception. We're still in the future, we're just not in that future. You dumbass.
Oh. Nobody can predict the future. Turns out this is it.
No, this is a future. We thought it would be something else. We thought we would have flying cars by now. Because those minds didn't realize how fucked up the world was. And how much they would hold back technology. That's what happened. That's why we would have like electric cars only happened because Elon Musk. If Elon Musk didn't show up and force their hand, we'd only have gasoline cars. You realize that, right?
And maybe we didn't notice because it kind of crept up on us, the way the future usually does. I'm a couple of months away from walking my older boy home from his elementary school for the last time. I could swear I just dropped him off for the first grade.
I'm joking.
The more adult and
that right there, that was the most mundane, most basic, most I'm everybody else's I've ever heard. Anyways, that's it. Be well, be happy, be safe, be loved, God bless, Godspeed, take care, be well, be happy, be safe. I'm going to unsubscribe. Then be well, be happy, be safe. Extend ladder, share the wealth, share the life, share the love. I apologize for any lip smacking you may have heard. These things are fucking good. I can't resist them. They're fucking amazing. And just to let you know what they are, I'm eating organic dried chili mango. Fucking addicting, bro. Just let them soak in your mouth and oh god, it's so good. Anyways, I'm gonna be well, be happy, be safe, and yeah. Don't let the door hit you where the Lord split you in peace. Oh, thank you, Destiny, for showing me. But unfortunately, he just seems like every other jack off. So, I'm out. Well, baby, I'm looking for a leader, like a coach or someone, because I'm tired of being number one. I want someone else to be number one, but I can't find him. Anyway, I'm out. So, don't hit you where the Lord split you in peace.